Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. I'm outside right here, actually just in front of the garage. We've got the Tundra right down here below, behind me, and up above there is the Tacoma. And I heard some stuff on the web the other day, read a couple stories and stuff, and it was talking about Toyota going to a wide body for the Tacoma. And I got to thinking, why? Why would they do that? You know, years ago, I had a Nissan Frontier. And it is what I would call a wide body. You know, it was the much wider version of that truck than what they have today. It was heavy, it was clumsy, it was horrible on gas mileage, and it was just big. It isn't what I would call mid-size or small size, I guess. Maybe you'd call it mid-size. But it didn't work out well for Nissan because ultimately they shrunk the size of their Frontier. The Frontier today is probably, I'd say, about a third smaller than what it used to be. It's more in line with what's now the Ford Ranger, the new Ford Ranger, and the Tacoma. It's actually probably, really, I'd say pretty darn close to the Tacoma. Now, there's a reason that Nissan did that, right? I mean, you would think. I mean, you don't take a product that's selling really well and shrink it down and turn it into something else. Just doesn't make sense to me. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about the Tacoma. You know, they have the #1 selling, what they call, I guess, small size, I'd call it a mid-size truck, in the market. Nobody's even close. They're doing so well that other people are jumping in. You know, the Ranger's back now. We have the redesigned Colorado. I've even heard Volkswagen and Hyundai are talking about coming out with a truck. We'll see, maybe just rumor, I don't know. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me as to why Toyota would increase the size of their truck. You know, everybody's talking about mileage and fuel economy and all that kind of stuff today. And I can't see, unless you really mess with the powertrain, another problem, how you can possibly go bigger and get better gas mileage. Maybe it's going to be all electric. Maybe it's some slow, gutless hybrid. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be the Prius Tacoma. Who knows? But anyway, as I thought about this, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And selfishly, you know, I have the Tundra and the Tacoma, obviously, back here behind me. And you guys can see here in a couple of pictures, you know, what the difference is. Now, in size anyway. Now, what I've heard is that they're going to build the Tacoma and the Tundra on the same platform. Now, I guess a lot of manufacturers do that. Makes sense to me from a cost-saving standpoint. Obviously, if you can streamline everything and build different versions on the same platform, you can reduce cost. That makes sense to me. But in reducing cost, at what cost? I think it's a big mistake myself. I think it's been proven, again, going back to the Nissan Frontier, that it just doesn't work. I mean, we really don't need another mid-size, I guess, or in between. I'd actually call it in between mid-size and full-size. It's like the 3/4 size truck. I mean, if you want a full-size truck, for instance, a Tundra, then you'd get a Tundra. But if you're in the market for a small size truck, I don't know why you'd go to a 3/4 size truck. Who knows? Now, again, I mentioned some selfish reasons for me. If you look in my garage, obviously I have a lift, and I put the Tundra down below and the Tacoma on top. And I do that for a reason. The Tundra, while it does fit, does not fit real well. It's too wide, which I think illustrates what the Tacoma could become if they indeed do go to a wider platform Tacoma. You know, it won't fit in my garage to begin with. It won't fit on the lift, at least not comfortably. The Tundra fits on mine, but it is not a comfortable fit. It is tight. And I think to carry that on, I realize not everybody has lifts, right? But you can carry that forward into real life. I mean, a lot of people don't want a great big giant truck. They still want the versatility of a truck. And with today's double cab in the Tacoma, you can still fit a family in it. I wouldn't say you can fit a full-grown family, at least not comfortably. You could to go from place to place, but you can fit a young family in it. You know, you can have you, the wife, couple kids, and there's plenty of room. You don't need a great big giant truck, and the Tacoma satisfies that niche at the moment. You can get yourself a truck for the versatility of it. It's not some giant thing that you can't fit anywhere or maybe you just don't want. But you can still do the things that you want to do with it. And I think that's probably part of the reason why Tacoma is so dominant in the market. They build a good quality product. It's a good size. It's versatile. It gives you the convenience of, in essence, having an SUV with a bed on the back. Because let's face it, a lot of trucks today are so plush, or trucks today in general are so plush. They're pretty similar to SUVs with beds on them. They ride well, they're comfortable inside, they've got a lot of good tech in them. And if there's any proof of that, it's the fact that all these companies are now jumping back into the market. Ford, for example, with their less than perfect Ford Ranger, that's a different video. But nonetheless, they see the value of the small size, mid-size truck, and they're jumping back into the market. So I just don't understand why Toyota would mess with a winning combination. Granted, they do need to make some improvements. You know, everybody always talks about gas mileage and fuel economy and all that kind of stuff. And they are a little bit behind there. So they do need to maybe trim a little weight out of it, maybe tweak the motor a little bit, maybe upgrade the transmission. Just a few things that they need to do to increase the fuel economy of the Tacoma. Now, I don't see, once again, how going to a wide body truck is possibly going to be conducive to that goal. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, another thing that I've heard recently, along with this wide body rumor, is that they're talking about potentially going to an all-electric truck. Maybe that's a little bit of the Tesla effect. You know, with all this pub out there on the Tesla going and creating, in which they are, full-size trucks that are electric, even on up to the electric semi, of course, which I'm sure you've probably heard about. So they do have to be mindful of that kind of thing, and maybe they're going to create something like that that is going to be more fuel efficient and able to compete with things like that in the future. Maybe it's them looking forward. I'm not quite sure. But in doing that, you don't want to take such a huge gamble that you lose the market that you currently have. And, you know, I think that's probably what's going to happen if Tacoma indeed, or Toyota rather, decides to go that way with the Tacoma. I just don't see a need for a 3/4 size truck in the marketplace, especially with the competitors out there that have come into the mid-size market. I think Toyota would be shooting themselves in the foot if they did that. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Rumors, maybe, maybe not. Again, I do see, you know, some benefit in building the Tacoma and the Tundra on the same platform, but practically, I just don't see a need for it in today's market. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. Rumors are running rampant, especially with the new Tundra redesign coming. Maybe this has something to do with it. I'm not sure. Time will tell. We'll see. As usual, appreciate you guys watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Click that subscribe button if you haven't before. And let me know. Let me know if you've heard this rumor and what you guys think. Would you go from a mid-size Tacoma to a wide-body 3/4 size? Leave a comment down below. I'll be curious to see what you think. Have a great day. Bye.